Hello everyone, welcome back to the fifth part of our topic on Strength 4.1. In the previous section, we discussed some of the properties of transition metals, namely variable oxidation state formation, forming colored ions, paramagnetism and diamagnetic properties, and the ability to act as catalysts in many reactions. In this section, we are going to be looking at the final property of a transition metal, which is their ability to form complex ions. We are going to look at the definition of a complex ion in a while, but first of all, we look at where its application is. The first place where complex ions are very commonly seen is in chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is the green pigment in leaves, and this green pigment is involved in the photosynthesis process. And you can see the formula of chlorophyll. You can see that there is a magnesium atom or magnesium ion in the center, and that magnesium ion is actually surrounded by a huge group of molecules. So that is an example of a complex ion. Furthermore, the other place where complex ions are found is in our blood, which contains hemoglobin. The function of hemoglobin is to carry oxygen throughout our body. So the hemoglobin binds with the oxygen, and the formula of that involves iron, which is in the center surrounded by a group of molecules. Apart from this, there are various other places where transition metals act as complex ions, such as they are used in vitamins and minerals. Our body contains trace minerals. These trace minerals are complex ions. Okay, vitamin B12 contains zinc ion surrounded by a group of molecules. So that is a complex ion. Most of the complex ions are used in as medicinal drugs, such as cisplatin. Cisplatin contains platinum as a transition metal, which is used as a very effective anti-cancer drug. So we are going to be looking at how to identify a transition metal by looking at its ligands and its coordination number. And also we are going to be learning how to name a complex ion. So this is a basic objective of this particular section. So let's look at into what a complex ion is. A complex ion is containing a central metal ion surrounded by an exact group of bonded groups called a ligand. Let's look at this example here. This is how a formula of a complex ion looks like. You can see that unlike any other ion like calcium ion, chloride ion, this involves the use of square braces, and it also has a molecule involved. Now, these molecules which are bonded with the transition metal is a ligand. A ligand is any molecule which has a lone pair of electron or a negative ion. Anything that has a lone pair of electron or any negative ion can act as a ligand. So the bonding between a ligand and the transition metal is a dative bonding. As you can see in the structure between ammonia and copper ion, the bonding here is a dative bonding, where the electron is provided by only one atom. And in this case, the ammonia is providing the electrons to the copper ion. Coordination number is the number of ligands surrounding a central metal ion. So if you look at this example here, how many groups are surrounding the central metal ion? The central metal ion is copper ion, isn't it? And surrounding that is 6 molecules of ammonia. That means the coordination number for this complex ion is 6. Now let's look at some of the common ligands which are used in complex ions and identify their names. Water, ammonia, chloride. Water is known as aqua when we write that in a formula for complex ion. Instead of saying ammonia, we say amine. All the halides, their name will end with O. Like chloride will become chloro, bromide will become bromo, iodide will become iodo, and so forth. Hydroxide, fluoride, bromide, you can see the O is prefix, the suffix here, isn't it? Hydroxide will become hydroxo. fluoride, fluoro, bromide, bromo. Cyanide ion, which is an active ion, will be called cyano. So familiarize yourself with the names and how we are going to use them in the naming system. So let's look at our first step when we are naming a complex ion. Some of the things that we have to keep in mind when we are naming complex ions are: number one, indicate the type of ligand and the number of ligand. That is very important. So if we have one ligand, we will use the prefix mono. If water is a ligand, we will say mono aqua. Okay? If we have two ligands, we will say di aqua. Or if ammonia is a ligand, then diamine. 3 will be tri, 4 will be tetra, 5 will be penta, and so forth. You must also indicate the central metal ion and its oxidation number. So you need to learn how to calculate the oxidation number of a metal here. That information has to be included in the naming. And then finally we need to calculate the overall charge of the complex ion. Next, like I mentioned earlier on, make sure you know your prefixes. They are very important. And finally, the naming of the ligands, okay, which we discussed earlier on. So keeping these three things in mind, let's look at our first example. This is the order that we follow whenever a complex ion is named. Must always have the number of ligand first, then we must write the name of the ligand, then we write the name of the metal, and in bracket we must put the oxidation number of the metal, and then you write the word ion. All of these things from number of ligand up till oxidation number will be written together without any spaces. Right. Let's look at example number 1. How are we going to name this particular complex ion? So the first thing we keep in mind is this. Identify the overall charge on the complex ion. If the overall charge on the complex ion is a positive, you can see, okay, so the charge here is positive 3. Now if the overall charge is a positive, then the name of the metal is written as it is. You don't change anything. But if the overall charge is negative, like in this example here, if the overall charges are negative, then the name of the metal is written as a metal 8. So you write the name of the metal and you put the suffix ate at the end. Okay, let's look at this example and then you understand better. So step number 1, you identify the number of ligands. Now in the first, you have Al, which is a metal, and around Al we have H2O, which is water. Why is water acting as a ligand here? Because it has the lone pair of electron, that's why it can be used as a ligand. How many water molecules are here? 5. That means the coordination number is 5. So 5, the prefix we use is penta. Penta. How many ligands? That's a coordination number. That's the first thing you write. Then you write the name of the ligand. Now because the ligand is water, we will not say penta water. We will use the name that we have learned earlier on. Water will be called aqua. So it will be penta aqua. Okay. Then you write the metal ion, aluminium. Now after this, you calculate the oxidation number of aluminium. Okay, after calculating the oxidation number of aluminium in this method here, you can see the oxidation number of aluminium plus oxidation number of the ligand will be equal to the overall charge, which is plus 3. And find the oxidation number of aluminium by making that the subject of the formula. You can see that it comes to a plus 3. So this plus 3 is the oxidation number which you write in bracket. And then you write the word ion. So the name of this complex ion is penta aqua aluminium ion. Okay, make sure the entire word is written as 1. Okay. Then we look at example number 2. Again we do the same thing. In example number 2, which is this one here, the metal is copper, Surrounding that is Cl, and there are 4 of them, 4Cl. So what is the coordination number in this particular complex? The coordination number here is 4 because there are 4 ligands. So the prefix we use is tetra. The ligand used is Cl, which will be called chloro. Tetrachloro. We will not say copper ion because it's a negative ion. We will put ATE at the end. So instead of saying copper 8, we will use their Latin name, which is cuprate. Tetrachlorocuprate. And then find the oxidation number of copper, which is +2. Write that in bracket and the word ion. Okay. Okay, let's look at the third example. So again, we make up our mind as to how the name is going to end. Now, in this example here, we can see the total charge is a positive. So we will just write the name of the metal as it is and write the word ion. But in the second one, you can see there is a negative charge. So we will write the name of the metal and then add ATE. Okay. So how many ligands are here in this example? There are 4 ligands. The ligand here is water. So 4 ligands, we will use the word tetra. For water, we will say aqua. Copper. Okay, calculate the oxidation state of copper, which is +2. So you write 2 and the word ion. Tetra aqua copper ion. Okay. And then we look at the next one, which is zinc. The ligand here is OH minus, and there are 4 of them. So we say tetra. Hydroxyl zincate, not zinc, zincate. You have to add the ATE. Oxidation number of zinc, okay, which is +2, and the word ion. Then we look at the third one, which is hexa, because 6 ligands are there. Ammonia becomes amine. Hexaamine copper 2 ion. Okay. So there we have it, students. This is how we are going to name our complex ion. Okay, now coming to the final part of this section on 4.1. If we are given the name of a complex ion, how are we going to draw it or write the formula? So we're going to go backwards. This time we are going to put all the information that we have in pieces and then we'll combine it with tetra aqua. We know the metal here is copper. Okay, so we can just write the formula of copper as it is Cu. The other thing that we know is the oxidation state of copper, which is +2. Okay, so we will just write the oxidation state of copper, right, plus the oxidation state of what is the ligand in the example? Okay, the ligand here is aqua. Aqua means what? Aqua means water. Right, so this is what we have. Therefore, to write the formula of the complex ion, we need to know the overall charge on the complex ion, isn't it? So for copper, we know the charge already, which is +2 plus tetra aqua. Tetra means aqua is H2O, okay, and there are 4 of them. So this is tetra aqua. Square brace. This is very important. Make sure you have a square, not a circular brace. And then to write the charge that is on the top right hand corner, we just follow this method down here. So 4H2O, water is a molecule whose oxidation state will be 0. So overall, the oxidation state is a +2. And this +2 will be then written on top here. Okay, so this +2 is written on top here. Okay. That's pretty simple, isn't it? So we're going backwards. So that's tetra aqua copper 2 ion. Now let's look at this bit here. Tetrahydroxyl zincate ion. So this zincate should give you an indication, ATE. That means overall this is a negative ion. Okay, so let's look at the metal here, which is zinc. We just put zinc here. Okay, what is the ligand? Tetrahydroxyl. Hydroxyl means OH. So this ligand is a OH. Tetra means 4. There are 4 of them. Okay. So now that the name ends with AT, we know that overall it's a negative. What negative? Let's work it out. So oxidation state of zinc, we just work that one out. Okay, oxidation number of zinc plus oxidation number of the ligand, which is OH minus, will give you the overall oxidation state. So zinc is +2, which is given in the name, plus tetra means 4, hydroxy charge is -1. Okay, let's work this out. So that will be 2 minus 4. 2 minus 4 will be equal to -2. And that -2 we'll put on top here. Okay, so this -2 is actually the charge on the complex ion. So that finishes off, okay, with our topic on strand 4.1. I hope you have understood a great deal about this particular topic. If you have any questions, do let me know in the forum, or you can get back to me anytime you feel free. Make sure you are doing the questions that are associated with the notes and at the same time revising your notes thoroughly. Keep watching these videos over and over if you have forgotten anything or if you are stuck anywhere. Until then, we will meet for our final topic, okay, for this year, which is going to be strand 4.2, which is organic chemistry. All right. In the meanwhile, take care. Good luck with your revision and bye.